Filming videos for YouTube is so hard.
Don't say it's hard, say it's arduous.
Getting my channel to 5 million subscribers was really hard.
You mean it was hard won?
Yes, it was hard won. Hey guys, welcome to this video. As you might have guessed, today we're gonna learn how to replace hard or very hard in your speech. I am making this video together with Rachel from Rachel's English channel. Rachel is an American and she teaches American pronunciation on her channel. So if you want to learn how to pronounce this or that word in American English, check out her channel. The link will be in the description box below. And if you're looking for one resource that would guide you through learning a language, that will give you most used words that you need to learn, explain the tenses, teach you necessary idioms, check out my workbook in the description box. Now let's start learning alternatives to the word it's hard. One of the ways to replace it's hard is to say jump through hoops. This means that you have a lot of things to do. They might be not the most interesting things to do in the world, but you have to do them in order to achieve your goal. And I think when people say, find something that you love and you won't have to work a day in your life, this is not actually true. I love doing YouTube videos, but it's also a lot of work. And in order to stay consistent, I have to produce content every week. Even if I have COVID, even if I feel tired. And in order to create one video, I need to jump through hoops, writing a script, putting my makeup on, dressing up. But at the end of the day, I love it, though sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, and the teachers and the parents, they have to sign off on it, and then you have to write a proposal, then you gotta jump through hoops to deal with the school board.
It's tough. This is one of those O-U-G-H words. You may know that the letters O-U-G-H have 6 different pronunciations. This one is tough, like enough. Tough means strong and durable. My son's a good athlete, he's really tough. It can also mean not easily broken, or like a tough steak is one that's kind of hard to chew. But when applied to a situation, it means difficult. If a friend says to you, I just failed my English final, you could say, oh man, that's tough. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's tough to forget being so impressive.
You can also say it's a challenge, which means that you have a difficult situation, which is not easy to resolve, but you have to deal with it. It's a challenge to get a Fulbright scholarship to study in the US. It is a challenge because you have to prepare your personal statements, take the exams, but at the end of the day, it's possible. And 6 years ago, I was able to get my Fulbright scholarships to do master's and MBA in the US. I ended up not doing them, but that's a different story.
It's a challenge, but it's nothing you can't handle, Catherine.
It's formidable. Something that's formidable is so big, it's discouraging. A formidable problem is not a small, everyday problem. It will take a lot of effort to solve. So if you're dealing with a situation or problem that's really hard, you can say it's formidable. For example, coming up with a budget for next year is a formidable task that might take weeks. We also use this a lot to describe opponents. If you're competing against somebody, a formidable opponent is very strong. It will not be easy to beat that person.
Those were fierce and formidable days.
It's not easy. This means that you need skills or knowledge to do something. It's not easy to get 100 out of 120 on TOEFL. There is a slight difference between it's a challenge and it's not easy. When we say it's a challenge, we really mean that it's hard. Like if I say it's a challenge for me to score 100 out of 120 on TOEFL, that means that I have to study really hard, I have to take a lot of practice tests, and I still might fail. When I say it's not easy, it's a bit less intense. That means, yes, I have to study hard. Yes, I have to prepare a lot. But there is a good chance if I do all the necessary work that I will achieve my goal.
Chris, it's not easy to relate to someone who is accused of 4 murders.
Taxing. If something is taxing, it's a burden. It's hard. It's difficult. For example, I used to run a guest house and I was on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like if a pipe burst, for example, it was my problem. And that kind of constant on-duty feeling was really taxing. Another example, Working a double shift 2 days in a row is taxing. Taxing can be used for something that's either physically taxing, mentally taxing, or both.
This mentoring is very taxing stuff.
Instead of saying it's hard, you can also say it's demanding, which means it requires a lot of time, skill, effort, or attention. For example, you can say, I enjoy my job, but it is very demanding, which means sometimes you have to work longer hours, sometimes you have to stay awake at night, and you have to possess different skills. And you can say, my job is demanding, instead of saying it's really hard.
It's exhausting. If something is exhausting, it causes fatigue. It makes you mentally or physically tired. For example, being a mom to 2 boys aged 3 and 6 is exhausting. I don't think I need to say more to explain that.
It's exhausting being me.
Another great word to know, arduous. Again, when you say it's arduous, that means it requires a lot of effort, strength, and energy. You can say, I don't want to do my homework. It's arduous. Look at this task. I have to write a 20-page letter to my friend.
Welcome to America, son. Your long, arduous journey is over.
It's trying. If something is trying, it's extremely annoying or difficult. For example, I've seen several doctors, but still haven't gotten a diagnosis for my condition. It's been very trying. Trying implies an emotional difficulty. I wouldn't use it for something that was only physically hard, but for something that was emotionally difficult, something that really wears you down, that diminishes your joy. That is trying.
Another great phrase, it's grueling. That means that something is extremely difficult and tiring, and it requires a lot of time and energy. A good example of using this word would be talking about some kind of sport or marathon or a competition. I'm going to take part in a 156-mile run next year. Oh my god, it's grueling. How are you going to do that? So this implies that this race is going to be hard, difficult, will take a long time to run, and a lot of energy, of course.
It's very difficult to be a leader in a time of crisis. It's grueling.
It's punishing. You probably know the verb to punish. If you punish someone, you take something away as a consequence of doing something wrong, or you penalize them somehow. It's often severe. If something is punishing, using it as an adjective, it's severe, brutal, harsh. For example, trying to summit Everest is punishing. A schedule can be punishing, way too full, too much to do. I said that trying relates to something that's more emotionally difficult. I would say punishing is used more for things that are physically difficult.
Well, I mean, it's a punishing schedule.
Another great synonym to hard, laborious. And as you might have guessed, comes from the word labor, which means it requires a lot of labor, effort, work, time, etc. Sewing is a very laborious process. Pay attention to how sewing is pronounced, by the way, because there is a temptation to read it as sewing. It's actually sewing. So for example, if you spend a lot of time sewing a sweater or a hat, you can say it's laborious.
Well, it's a laborious activity.
It's a bitch. Okay, this is a cuss word, and if cussing isn't your thing, you won't want to use this. It means really difficult. That hike was a bitch, but the view at the top was great. If you feel insecure about the pronunciation of this word compared to beach, bitch versus beach, be sure to check out the video on my YouTube channel that goes over these two words and makes clear the pronunciation difference.
I'm gonna wrap up this video with the last phrase, but before we finish, I want to tell you that we made another part to this video on Rachel's channel. The link will be down below. Continue watching it to learn more synonyms to the word is hard, because it's really good to know those synonyms if you're about to take a test, if you're about to write an essay. It is advisable that you replace words with synonyms because they have slightly different meaning and slightly different mood to them, which means your speech will be more beautiful. That was a backbreaker. That is another phrase that you can use to replace a phrase it's hard. And again, you kind of can guess its meaning from its context. Breaking your back. A physically difficult task. I'm moving to a new house next week and I've been packing everything in boxes, and it's a backbreaker, which literally means that my back is about to break because It's so hard to lift things. I'm not moving to another house. You're gonna see more videos from the studio. Just a good example. Thank you guys so much for watching this video up to the very end. Don't forget to check out the second part with me and Rachel on her channel. And if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, hit the red button down below, like this video, and I'll see you very soon in my next videos. Bye bye.